The Garfield movie is the new biographical drama by Sony Pictures Animation about the assassination of U.S. President James A. Garfield. Welcome back to Movie Health Community, the internet's #1 source of health warnings at the movies. Today we're going to talk about this goofy thing here. But before we give a review, let's talk about if it's safe for photosensitive audiences. The answer is... shockingly, no. The Garfield movie is not safe for photosensitive audiences. And I mean shockingly in a very literal sense. Everything electrical causes extreme strobe effects in this movie. We've got lightning, we've got electric fences, we've got stun guns, we've got camera flashes. All of these things cause really strong strobe effects, and they all happen very suddenly with no warning. And given the fact that this is a family film, you can't be doing that. I had a whole section of my review of If that explained why it's so much more important that family movies be photosensitivity friendly than non-family friendly movies. And where If was a huge success, the Garfield movie is a huge failure. So because these effects are so extreme, and because this is a family movie that these effects are in, we are giving the Garfield movie a 10 out of 10 for flashing lights. Extreme caution. In terms of motion, it's your typical CGI movie fare where the camera work never really shakes. It's always really smooth. The final action sequence takes place on a vehicle moving at high speeds. That's about it. Oh yeah, and that sequence also has some extreme heights. At least I don't have any mental health trigger warnings for this movie. Which brings me to, is the Garfield movie any good? If you've seen the trailers for this movie, I can tell you that this movie was marketed very honestly. If you're impressed with them matching the style of the character design with the original character designs of the comic strip, that is consistent throughout this movie. That's about everything positive I have to say about this movie, though. That and maybe small children will enjoy it. This movie really highlights the difference between what is a kid's movie versus what is a family movie. Pixar pretty much exclusively makes family movies, movies meant for all ages, with humor that's relevant for all ages somewhere in the movie. The Garfield movie is a kid's movie. It's not a family movie. It's the movie that the adults are going to draw straws on and see which adult takes the kids to the Garfield movie while the rest of the adults go see Furiosa. One thing that really shocked me about this movie is trying to picture the conversations behind the scenes. For example, Ving Rhames gives the explanation of the plan for a big heist, and as an adult I'm thinking immediately, oh, just like he does in Mission Impossible. That's a fun joke for the adults to get that may fly over the children's heads. So why do they have to spend so much extra money to license the theme from Mission Impossible from Paramount or from the record company that owns the soundtrack to the Mission Impossible movies? They do that with another Tom Cruise movie as well and directly reference Tom Cruise in the scene. One thing I've always been impressed with the Garfield intellectual property is that it always felt kind of timeless. Like the comic strip, it doesn't matter what decade you read it in, it will always land the same. And with the Bill Murray movies, maybe the CG will be a little bit dated, but the humor will still age really well. The humor in this movie is very specific to the early to mid 2020s. This is definitely a movie that's not going to age nearly as well as most other appearances of Garfield in media. There were some cute nods to some of the biggest cultural impacts that Garfield has had on pop culture right within the space of about 15 seconds, but I cannot recommend this movie to anyone over the age of 5 with any enthusiasm. So I am going to give the Garfield movie a D. Thank you so much to our readers on Tumblr and Facebook, and as always, an extra special thanks to our patrons over on our Patreon screen whose names are scrolling up like credits right now. As a reminder, nothing produced by Movie Health Community is medical advice, nor has any of it ever been reviewed by any medical professionals. Be sure to leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we post new videos, and leave a comment if you have anything to add to this discourse, especially if you disagree with anything I've said. We love hearing from you. And as always, stay safe at the movies.